Hi everyone, this is Thibaut, CEO of PlayPlay, and welcome to a new episode of the 3 Learnings From, a podcast where leaders in communication and marketing share some key learnings from their career with us. Today I'm very happy to welcome Latané Conant, the Chief Marketing Officer of Sixth Sense and author of the best-selling book No Forms, No Spam, No Cold Calls. Hi Latané.
Hi, Thibaut. It's awesome to be here.
Thanks. I'm very happy to have you, and I can't wait to hear your learnings. So let's start with learning number one. This one is about brand and culture.
Well, let's back up.
Yes.
So all three of my learnings have to do with being a chief market officer. Okay, so being a CMO is a difficult and sometimes vague job. You do a lot of different things. That's what I found. Okay.
Yep.
And so what I wanted to do on this podcast is talk about what I think are three critical elements of being a chief market officer, which is brand, experience, and revenue. So each one relates back to brand, experience, and revenue. So that's
Right.
how we're gonna sum it all up at the end.
Awesome. So the first one is indeed about brand and the link between the brand and the culture.
Yeah, I think sometimes what you think about when you think about brand is you think about external, what you want to project externally. But in order to project something externally, you have to start from the inside, I believe. And so I think that the closer you tie your brand to your culture and you really create the movement inside first, the more successful you will be. So those two things to me are incredibly linked, because when you think about customers, partners, analysts, influencers, all people that you want part of your movement, they're going to look at your people as the ultimate expression of your brand. And so I think, as a CMO, really thinking about how you're building a culture that represents your brand is important.
So you say that to have a strong brand externally, you need to have a strong culture internally, right?
Yes.
And do they have to be aligned in the way that they are around the same values? Or you can have a culture internally that is this and a brand that is different? Can it work?
I don't like that, honestly. So I think the closer you align the two, the better.
Okay.
So I think back about like at Aperio, and the more simple you make it. So Aperio did a great job at this. 3 values: customer, team, fun. Very easy to remember, easy to talk about. So the more clear and crisp and simple you make it, and you make sure that the team epitomizes it, it's just going to come out, right? Because if you put your brand on a hierarchy or a wall or in your messaging house, that's exactly where it's going to stay. The expression of it is going to come through your people.
Awesome. Super interesting. Let's go to learning number 2. This one is around prospects and the way a company does the best interaction with them.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is most companies treat their prospects like dirt. And prospects are future customers. And what do I mean by that? How do you treat a prospect? Well, most marketing technology has taught us to put up a form when they want to do research. Nobody wants to fill out a form. To spam them with email, and to cold call them. These are all things I hate personally as a buyer, and you hate as a buyer. but this is like the linchpin of our strategy. To me, it makes no sense. So if you start to change your thinking and you start to gather much better insights on the prospect journey, and you use those insights, you can start to change the paradigm. And by focusing on that experience, you will separate yourself from the noise in a significant way. And so that's actually what I wrote the book about.
Do you have like an example of great interaction one brand can have with prospects?
Yeah, so a good example is like for us, we only do outreach to a prospect when we know that they are actually in market. So we know they're doing enough research to indicate they're actually interested or have a problem. We then, instead of doing random outreach based on maybe what they care about, we use keywords. We use intent keywords that actually tell us the exact keyword that prospect cares about. And so then all of our outreach and content is guided towards really providing relevance. So if your top keyword is predictive analytics and you're a head of sales, I am going to go and provide a certain talk track versus if your top keyword is, let's say, CDP and you're a head of marketing. And so by having those insights, we're very tailored and relevant to our prospects.
Awesome. Let's move to learning number 3. This one is a bit, let's say, mysterious to me. So I'm curious to hear more. It's about looking for red. Can you explain?
Yeah. So I'm actually a recovering software salesperson. And one of the worst things that you can do as a seller is have what they call happy ears, which is think everything's going great in your deals. Mm-hmm. The best salespeople are so paranoid. And I learned a process called identifying red flags. And identifying red flags is looking across your deal and looking for all of the things that could go wrong. Every single thing, and always thinking, where could I go wrong? Where is it not where it needs to be? How do I go fix that? And I think marketers are sometimes prone to want to be positive, which is great, and want to talk about all the things that are going well. But as a CMO, our job is to be like future-proofing bookings. And so we need to actually be looking for areas that are red and shoring those up before they become a problem. So, that process of looking at critical things like, what's the trend on our conversions? Is it, what's the trend on our win rates? What's the trend on our average selling price? What's the trend on upsell? What's the trend on cross-sell? What's the trend on, getting ideal customers to our website? So like looking at like critical phases in the funnel and understanding your like revenue operating model, and then every month inspecting and looking for red is how you make sure that you have enough time to adjust and can focus on the right things to future-proof bookings.
That's more clear. And
that's what?
That's very clear and very, very interesting. And I think focusing on where things are going wrong is a very interesting way to approach things. Awesome. We're already done. Latané, thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time. And stay tuned for the next episodes.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.